Hello and welcome to Mumblecast, all the structured poorly researched podcast extravaganza. My name is Liam, as always. I'm here with my co-host Kayla. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How was your week been?
Great.
Grand.
It's been grand.
Have you done anything fun or exciting?
Let's see, I went rock climbing on Saturday.
That's good, you haven't done it in a while.
No.
Were you good at it?
Actually, my grip strength was a lot weaker than it was when I was working there. Which makes sense.
I really thought you were going to say better.
No, okay. It was worse. But if you think about it, like a 20-minute CrossFit workout where you're doing even if you're doing pull-ups the whole time, grip strength for 20 minutes versus rock climbing for 2 hours, or belaying kids for all day.
Yeah, holding a rope for that long.
Yeah. So we did 4 runs.
Oh, I was
yeah, and then I hurt my shoulder, and that was it.
Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, you got some out there, I guess. That's all right.
I'm ready to get back. What about you?
I didn't really do anything exceptional. We had a rugby game. We lost, so that sucked. But that happens. But that's rugby season over until next year, so
cool.
Kind of silver lining, sort of, but not really.
Are you gonna do it next year?
Yeah, probably. I keep saying no, but I probably will.
You will.
Kidding. I'll get bored of something and just want to do it.
So one of my good friends, she we work summer camp together, and then every year she's like the whole year, especially right after the end of summer camp, she's like, I didn't get my summer, I'm not going to do it next year, and then literally every year she goes back.
Yeah.
This will be.
She's still going.
As of last year she did it.
How many years is that? 10 years or something?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Wowza. That's a bit strange.
I can't remember if she did it last year.
She's a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
sense. So we call it our teaching is our off-season job, and summer camp's our job. Well,
okay.
I say this, and I haven't been in 6 years, so.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get onto that? What were we talking about?
Oh, you quitting rugby, but not really.
Oh, yeah.
You'll go back.
Well, the thing is, what I don't like about rugby is the training, and I like the games. Mm-hmm. And I'm in two mindsets: either make the training better, so actively do something to make it better, or quit. And I don't think I want to quit. So I mean, they're going to have to make the training better. But I don't know if I want to put the effort in to make the training better. So
you're about to write the training for your rugby team next year?
So I'm thinking about just doing a strength and conditioning program over the summer, and then see how receptive and how people kind of work to that. And if they're receptive, then maybe put effort into the coaching. But I also don't want to take over anything, because I don't want to be that deep into the club, because then you owe them stuff, and then you're involved, and I don't like being involved in things that I'm not fully committed to.
Yeah.
Well, I like being involved in things I'm committed to, just not things I'm not committed to.
That makes sense. Fair enough.
My job. Anyway, enough about what I did in rugby. You know something that I did today that I've never done before, I don't even know how it happened, and I'm like, how have I never done this before? I was washing my face, and as I was washing my face, you know how you kind of scrub up and down your face?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my finger caught in my nose, and I pulled it up, and it really hurt. And I've never done this before. And I was like, how have I never done this before? Because when you wash your face, you put soap on your hands, you put it in your face, and you scrub. And somehow I caught my finger in my nose, and I was like, fucker, you bastard. And then I was like, wait a minute, how have I never done this before? 30 years, and I've never caught my finger in my nose washing my face.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, how did that even happen? And I don't know. It's just weird. I'm assuming you've never done it before?
I can't say that I have. I don't know that I remember.
How would you ever do that? And it's like, I don't know if it was I just came down a little bit too far. Maybe it's the extent of the... So guys, recently, I'm not a guy with very good facial hair, but I recently grown a really bad wiggle hair. And so maybe it's the length of that. I came down to that, and then my finger's not used to being so low, and then it went in, I don't know.
What was your pinky?
I can't remember. I think it was my pinky. It was one of them that got hurt. Pinky's got quite a sharp nail on it. But that was what I just did in the shower a moment ago, and it hurt.
Sounds very, very painful.
It was, especially because my head went back with it, because I was like, you... And I felt like it was cutting the inside. It probably didn't, but yeah. Cool story, huh?
It's been 2 years since I got my nose ring, and still occasionally rip it out with, drying my face off with a towel. Oh, yeah. As recently as last Friday. It hurts so bad. You're
I bet.
You're going like this, and then it's just
pulls it over.
And then it pulls it.
Especially if you want to go one of those terry towel, the terry cloth towels.
I haven't tried that one. That one would kill it. But yeah,
I only found out what they were this week, though. I heard that name for so long, I didn't realise it was lots of big fat loops of cotton. I didn't know that.
Ooh, I didn't know that was what... I know what they were called. I didn't know... Never mind. I don't understand.
So, you know, like, those towels that have got, like, a real sort of, like, the strands of kind of have wee loops.
Yeah.
And it's just the dead fluffy cotton. Apparently that's a terry cloth.
Okay.
Apparently. Because I heard about it and I was like, what the hell is this? And I looked up. That's what it was.
Oh, cool.
So you can get, like, a bathrobe that's a terry cloth and it's, like, really fluffy and comfy.
Cool.
That's what it is. Yeah. Soak up good water. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Last week we went and saw Endgame.
We did go see Endgame. So now this is going to be our, basically, review, I guess, and future comments.
Major spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think we just go straight into spoilers and stuff and just basically go through the movie rather than saying, this is non-spoiler section.
Yeah. We're just going to, if you haven't seen it, stop listening right now.
Stop listening, yeah. We gave you a good bit of 5 minutes worth of comedy. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why not? 5 minutes of us mumbling and then, turn off.
You're done. Turn it off.
And this can also be our shits and hits for the week, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
All right. In that case, let's get ready to mumble.
All
right. Take me through the plot line. What happened?
All right. So we ended Infinity War with, the snap that disappeared multiple people. Like,
disappeared a word?
Yes.
Disappeared multiple people. Disapparated.
That's
is that
a Harry Potter word.
What is it? What does it mean?
Well, when you apparate, you
Appear?
can disapparate and apparate.
I see.
Yes. So, but they didn't disapparate.
What's vanquish?
That'd probably be the best word.
Does vanquish?
He vanquished them.
From existence. Yeah. Okay, anyway, carry on. I was trying to say vanished, but I can't vanquish. Anyway,
he snapped his fingers and they vanished. They all turned into dust, disappeared.
But not from non-existence, which would have been what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like, you do it and so they never existed rather than
everybody still knows
continue not to exist. Seems silly.
So it
amateur mistake
goes into present, like right after, I guess, it started.
Yeah, initially it went right immediately after almost.
Well, no, it started with Clint.
Well, so that was the very start.
Yeah.
So that was just to introduce his character. Apparently, that scene was going to be used at the end of Infinity War, but they felt like because he wasn't in the movie, they didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a cold cut. It was cold. What's it called? It's a cold start.
Cut? I don't know.
Cold something. Can't remember.
Cold cut his hand.
I think it's from a comedy. It's like usually like a scene that's funny, but it's got nothing to do with the rest of the plot. By the way, yeah. Started of that with Hawkeye, Clint, and his family, and then
his whole family
tied his shoelace, and his whole family disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was weird. Like, if we're going probability wise, I think it's weird that all of them disappeared and he didn't. Yeah,
50% of people might disappear, and 4 out of the 5 of them disappeared.
Yeah, but
it's
whatever.
Highly unlikely.
It had to work for the storyline. Yeah. So then they disappeared, and so then it flashes in, and like it's like Captain America and all them like talking about trying to find these people and trying to like come up with solutions and all this other stuff, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Then it was 5 years later.
Well,
No. They did.
Miss Marvel appears, and that doesn't actually happen in Endgame. It happened at the end of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And they just continued that on. So they didn't actually show her arriving or anything.
No.
What it jumped to Iron Man in space. Mm-hmm. And it was him recording stuff for Pepper Potts and him with Nebula. Mm-hmm. And he went through about how the spaceship was going to run out of oxygen. And just before it did, Captain Marvel found a ship and flew it back to Earth.
Yeah.
So that was basically immediate. Well, I think it was about 2 weeks, I think he said.
Yeah.
He'd been on the
I think so.
Quinjet or whatever it was. No, it was it Peter Quill's ship? It was, wasn't it? What was Peter Quill's ship called again?
I don't remember.
Can't remember. But anyway, he brought that back, and Quinjet's the shield one, so I don't think it was. So she brought that back, and then Captain America. Iron Man was all delirious, and
he looked weird.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't like him like that.
They'd skinnified him.
Yeah. And
made him a bit crazy from space, which I don't think would happen to him after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe because he lost to Thanos, but he's too powered, I think, for that. And why didn't he use his arc reactor? Sure, his arc reactor's power enough to get something going, you know? You'd think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they came back, and then they devised a plan, basically, for Captain Marvel to... Well, they searched the globe for some radiation, and they realised a snap had taken place due to some energy reading that happened on a certain planet in a certain part of space. So then they used Miss get Captain America to Captain Marvel to take them all through the ship to that location where they went, and what did they do when they got there?
So they walk in, and it's kind of like a dead zone, kind of. And they go in, and Thanos is just kind of sitting there, and they like say something about bringing them back and try to like kind of talk some sense into them. And he's like, I don't remember what he said. Something about like, I don't remember.
Oh, he had a big line, didn't he? Because it was quite a...
It was something about like this was their destiny or something. Something about destiny. Yeah. And then Thor chopped his head off. Yeah.
So that power expenditure that they saw, the reading, was him snapping his fingers again, or using the crystals again, gems, to get rid of gems, essentially, wasn't it? Yeah.
So he got rid of all of them. His whole arm was burnt, and he's like, it almost killed me to do it. But he thought that he had done the best thing for the planet and wanted to get rid of them so nobody else could use them again. He said this line that was really important, but neither of us remember. And then Thor chopped his head off.
Yes, that was Thor's big emotional moment.
Yes.
Which was really interesting in the sense that I think it was a bit of a shock. No one was quite expecting that to be how it started. I think a lot of people figured that he was going to be surviving and there's going to be some sort of way, because it was a really anticlimactic death too.
Yeah. Like, I looked over at Drake Thanos. When they were flying in the Quinjet to the place, and I looked at Drake and I was like, I feel like we've missed like 6 hours of a movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously I knew that it wasn't going to work and that they were going to have to like go back in time and do all that stuff, but like, or I assumed that's what they were going to do, but I legitimately was like, this is already starting off kind of not that great.
Yeah, I think from the very beginning I was like, uh-oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, they just jumped right in and like...
Which it was almost quite good, because they filmed it back to back, so it was going to run back to back. You know, it wasn't going to be that big, or at least that first portion. But I did think that set up the sort of despair that the Earth was feeling through that, the hopelessness, that we don't have... What do we do?
Yeah.
There was nothing. And then it jumped 5 years.
Yeah. Then we jumped 5 years. Black Widow's kind of like manning the headquarters...
Of S.H.I.E.L.D., essentially.
Of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
Well, not quite S.H.I.E.L.D., but something of similar
Yeah, something
thing.
Where she like is in touch with Wakanda and Rocket and like all these different people.
The survivors, basically.
Yeah.
Surviving, avenging type people.
And they check in with her, and it's just like, if you see anything, let me know. And they come... Something happened. Why did they all get together and go see Iron Man? Oh, duh. So then it like flashes to wherever Ant-Man lives. I don't remember where he's from. And and I thought this was like weird too. So a mouse like climbs over the...
So the hero of the universe is a mouse.
Yes.
Or a rat.
Yes. A rat climbs over like the thing that pulls Ant-Man out of the quantum realm, and he comes out.
I hate that.
Yeah. It was just so... not cheesy. Kind of cheesy, but it was just...
Chance. It made everything by chance now. What they should have done, they should have had him figure his way out. He figured his way out of the quantum realm first time, because that gives more character to Paul Rudd and Ant-Man. Because in the comic books, he's meant to be a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
He's meant to be smart, and he's just played off as a dumbass.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
No. So that was frustrating too.
Yeah.
He comes out, he like looks around, he doesn't really know what's going on. He like leaves, takes his little wagon full of his stuff.
Yeah.
Goes and like tries to like figure out what's happening. Goes and sees this memorial, finds out that Cassie, his daughter's name's not on there, but his is.
So it was like a memorial of all the people that had been snapped. Yeah, okay.
And so he like runs to the house, sees her, realizes that she's like 15 now. And that something was up. So then he goes to the Avengers headquarters.
Yeah, now does he just leaves straight from there, right? There's nothing else that gave him a sort of tweak. Yeah, okay.
No, he goes straight there, and he like explains this theory that he has, that basically if we can use the quantum realm, like the time doesn't work the same way in the quantum realm, and if they can go back in time through the quantum realm, get the stones, and reverse...
And somehow figure out how to sort this out.
Figure out how to reverse it.
Yeah, so if they could just re-collect the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, people don't like that idea. They're almost got to the point where they're in a point of grief where they've almost accepted everything and they don't want to try and change things, at least to some degree. But what is it that convinces them? They just hope, I think, isn't it? At least that's what convinces Captain America and Black Widow.
Yeah, I think for
if
them,
there's a chance or something, you just say, if there's a chance, we have to.
Yeah.
What's really interesting so far is that Paul Rudd was only in the quantum realm for 5 hours. So he has no idea what's happened in the last 5 years, really. And he doesn't know who Thanos was, really. And he doesn't have any idea of this. But he's come out with this plan to go back in time and pick them up from past existences. So then him, Captain America, and Black Widow, who do they go see?
Hulk, who is now...
Not yet.
Who did they go see first? Oh, Iron Man.
Yeah.
They go see Iron Man, and Iron Man is like, I have a kid now, and she's really cute. But he has a kid. He doesn't want to risk anything that could potentially... Like, do anything that could potentially risk losing her. But something in his brain, like, he can't leave it alone.
Yeah.
And he was, like, working on Jarvis, and Jarvis solved it.
So you were right. We go see him. He refuses because his daughter... What was his daughter's name? Do you remember?
No.
His daughter's name is actually the name of his cousin in the comic books. So because Tony Stark in some of the comic books is adopted by Howard Stark, and then Howard Stark's actual son is called the same name of his daughter, Morgan. No, Morag. Morg? I think it's Morgan. I think it might be Morgan. Anyway, facts. So he denies them. They leave. Then they go find.
Yeah. So then
Bruce Banner.
They're like, well, we got to get another scientist. So they go find Bruce Banner, who's now like Bruce Hulk Banner.
Yeah.
Hulk Banner.
Yeah, Hulk Banner.
So he's like both now, which is I don't like that either.
So that's something from the comic books called Professor Hulk, where it's combined.
Hulk Banner better.
Hulk Banner is better. But I didn't like how they did it. They just, this happened.
Yeah.
And I get that Hulk isn't a main character. It's tough to make a movie out of him, but...
also, he just, like... It was almost like Hulk from Ragnarok, where he, like... I mean, like, the smart version of it, where he was just, like, all about the fame and the people and all that, and that pissed me off, too.
And it's like, there was a big part of the plotline of Infinity War was Hulk isn't coming out. And then they just brushed over it. It's like, oh, this happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get that you need to... It's been 5 years and you need to push the storyline along, but that's a cop-out, I feel. Because more people liked Hulk than I think they think.
Yeah.
You know, he might not be able to drive a whole movie, but people wanted to see that.
Yeah, for sure. The more we talk about this, the more I realize how much I didn't like it, actually.
There's just lots of nitpicky things.
Yes.
It was still good. There were still funny moments, you know, but... So then they get Professor Hulk, and somehow, even though he's not as smart, well, he is as smart, but he's a different type of smart.
Yeah.
They somehow figure out some version of the time travel.
Yeah.
Somehow. So they try it out.
Yeah.
They go back to the Avengers headquarters, and then they send Paul Rudd back a bunch of times, and he changes his age, and they're not sure what's going on.
Yeah. So they, like, kind of figured it out, but not really.
And then Captain America storms out, gets all mad outside the Avengers, and guess who turns up?
Iron Man.
Because what has he done? What you were getting at earlier.
Ran the calculations and figured it out.
So it appears like within about 3 days, he solved time travel.
Yep.
Because apparently he wasn't thinking about the quantum realm, but he wasn't given any information about the quantum realm. Anyway, so Captain America, Iron Man somehow the most magnificent brain of all time ever, because he's now proven that he's the smartest man in the universe because no one else has thought time travel. So anyway. Yeah,
and so then he was like, okay, like, I'm down for this, but it can't change anything that's current. Like, we can bring them back, but that's where it has to stop. Like, leave everything else the same. So then they set out on this journey to do that. They call in all the forces.
Oh yeah, he's only going to do it if he had everyone. Why does he need everyone?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So call in all the forces, which includes Thor that they have to go get.
Oh yeah.
So
they get Rocket. So get all the people that Black Widow was speaking to that were still alive.
Yeah.
Well, no, they got Rocket
and
and they got Barton,
Nebula.
And they had Nebula. Barton was a little bit more difficult because he's been being Ronin, like we spoke about, and I'm just going to avoid that whole storyline because I don't care.
Yeah, he was just being a bad guy because he was hurt.
Because he's a dick. Anyway.
I mean, he did just lose his whole family, but whatever.
Yeah, but it's no reason to spin on your whole morals just because you lost your family and start killing other folk. Yes, they're bad guys and they survived the snap, but I mean, it was chance. You can't anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes gets him, and then who did he?
Hulk goes and gets Thor, which
Yeah.
Hulk and Rocket go get
Yeah.
Thor. So they go to Norway to I don't remember the name of the town originally.
They called it New Asgard.
But yeah, he changed it to New Asgard.
Oh, I can't remember. What it was.
And he's this like fat drunk guy now.
Yeah.
Which also I didn't like.
No.
At all.
I don't either.
So fat drunk Thor, who is just like upset because and I didn't understand that either. Is he upset because he chopped off his head and nothing happened?
I think he's just upset because he's lost his dad and his brother and his sister essentially, and his mum, and half of Asgard.
Okay.
And his hammer. Even he got a new one.
Okay, so
wow, we're taking a long time to get through this, by the way, just so you know, it's 20 minutes.
Okay, we'll speed it up. So he's just upset about that. So they go pick him up. He finally agrees to come, not very willingly, and he's still very drunk.
Looks like Big Lebowski, if you've seen that movie.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, he looks like the dude from Big Lebowski.
Okay, so they all get there. They start running these theories. They start trying to pinpoint exactly where these stones are. They come up with different teams that are going to go to different places and different points of history and time.
Yeah, so they want to go pick up the 5, 6, 7 stones from locations where they knew that they were within history or within the past human existence. Because I don't know why, but because.
Yeah.
Could have been any time, but anyway.
Would be the ones that they knew about.
That's true. Yeah.
It can only be the ones where they knew exactly where they were.
Yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah.
So.
They split into teams, don't they?
Yeah, they split into teams. They go off. Some of them, I feel like some of them worked out well, didn't they? Like one. Well,
they got all of them in the end.
Yes, they get all of them in the end, but they there's drama between all of them.
Cap, Bruce, and Iron Man go back to Avengers 2012. The Battle of New York. No, Battle of Chicago.
New York.
Is it New York? Yeah. And
there's like 3 there.
Yeah, so the Tesseract, the Time Stone's there, and the Scepter is there. So the mind, power, and time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce goes and gets the time, but then he speaks to the Sorcerer Supreme, and she explains if you pull a gem out of a time, a new timeline will expand, and only by bringing that gem back will that timeline not happen. And you don't want to break into multiple timelines because there's going to be a timeline where people are suffering because they don't have the gem to protect themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was the whole sort of, basically if you take 5 gems at a time, or 6 gems at a time, you'll have 6 different timelines, including the initial one. So he understands that, but he takes the gem anyway because she claims...
Well, he
Doctor
said
Strange
something
said...
about Doctor Strange, and she believes Doctor Strange more than herself, so...
Yeah, he said that Doctor Strange willingly gave away the time stone, so she believes that he would have only done that if it was for a good reason.
Yeah.
So she gives that away. They get the scepter, but they don't know. Yeah, they get the scepter, but they don't get the Tesseract.
Yeah.
So then, because everybody fumbles, they drop it. Yeah. Loki takes it and disappears. So then what they decide to do is Captain America and Iron Man decide to go to S.H.I.E.L.D., pick up some more pin particles, because they need pin particles to travel. We didn't mention that, but they do.
Well, they go to the 40s.
But they only get... they go to the 40s with the pin particles that were going to get them to go home.
Yeah, and then they're just trusting that there are more pin particles there. Yeah.
Well, they just hoped that Dr. Pym was working on them at that point and had it perfected. So they go there.
He did. Surprise.
Iron Man very, very easily takes the Tesseract. Like, way too freaking easily.
Yes.
Considering they did know how powerful it was. He meets his dad and has this sort of final goodbye bullshit, which bored the hell out of me. Captain America went and saw Peggy, because he needed closure as well.
Yeah.
And he went and picked up some pin particles. They said goodbye, he's got a Tesseract and went home.
Yep. So, shit happened, but it was also pretty easy for them to do.
Yeah. So far they got 3 stones pretty easy. Vormir, Black Widow, and Hawkeye went to. They climbed up the mountain, spoke to Red Skull, realised that you had to sacrifice someone you love. They had a big fight. Both of them tried to sacrifice themselves.
That one got me.
They tried to win killing themselves, and Black Widow won. So she dove off, and then Barton got the stone. I don't necessarily agree to that. I think Bart should have killed himself, but hey ho. And it also suggests that they loved each other. I know it could probably be family love,
family.
but it was a little confusing. because she doesn't have I don't know. It seems weird. But they got the Soul Stone, and then he teleported back.
Yep.
So I suppose, yeah.
I mean, that one wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, but I mean, it was easy at the same sense.
Yeah, it wasn't like they had to fight it. Like,
yeah.
They lost and had to go do more. It was
just get rid of Black Widow. Yeah, which was
we knew was going to
impactful.
happen.
Yeah. Well,
to somebody. We didn't know who.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Surely you'd have just fallen in love with Skull and chucked him off. Like, just spend a bit of time, fall in love with Skull. Because since you've got time, you have time anyway.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which kind of messed up everything, was the Power Stone.
Where was that? Well, there was 2 more, right?
What one have I missed?
With Nebula.
Nebula's the Power Stone. What's the other one I missed?
There's 3, 4.
We've got the time. Soul. The Power's the one that messed things up. Oh, the Thor and Rocket went back to Asgard to pick up the ether, and they were going to get it out of Jane. What was Jane's? Foster.
Yeah.
Because she had the liquid ether in her, and they were going to kind of suck it out, essentially.
Which, that one went pretty okay.
That was basically Thor getting closure from his mother.
Yeah.
And other than that, it was pretty easy. They had a bit of a run around, but nothing bad.
I didn't like that scene. Had he not been fat and drunk, I probably would have liked it better. Like, the closure from that would have been fine, had it not been him just being, like, drunkenly talking to his mom.
It would be more interesting on how his mom tried to determine that he was one from the future, looking the same.
Yeah.
You know? That would have been more interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, that was pretty easy and straightforward.
Yeah.
They got that.
Hammer.
He did steal the hammer out of that timeline.
Yeah.
So
not sure what happened.
I don't know how in that timeline. Anyway, he steals the hammer, so now there's these 2 hammers. Now he has his Mjolnir back, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Then they go back, and then you've got Nebula one. So they go to that place where Peter Quill picked up the Power Stone initially. Mm-hmm. That distant planet, and essentially Nebula being there sends out a transmitter to her current Nebula in that time zone. So then she realizes that the stone this new Nebula has come through time to pick it up, and Thanos has realized that, and Gamora, because they're still all bad at this point. Mm-hmm. Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure immediately after this, Gamora goes and tries to. So I guess she's already slightly on the turn, but like not really, because as soon as she picks up Peter Quill, she's like, I need to stop my dad from getting this. So I don't know what turned her initially, because this is can't be that long before that would have happened. So there's something not right there, because they were in the middle of killing other people in another place, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Anyway, they got the power gem a little bit easier than Peter Quill did, because they knocked him out dead easy. Got his War Machine and Nebula, but Thanos, Gamora, and that time's Nebula basically tracked them down. The Nebula swapped places, and then they essentially went back. What have I missed there?
The bad Nebula went back with
War Machine. So all the stones are there. They get them, and then that's some. Also, it was relatively easy. I thought it was going to be a bit more fun and a bit harder, but it was relatively easy. I thought that was going to be more of the storyline. Mm-hmm. That was almost like filler, I felt.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, they got the stones. They made a new Iron Man gauntlet to put them in. They gave him to the most powerful creature that they had, which was Hulk.
Yep. He
snapped his fingers, and everyone came back.
Yeah.
Easy as.
Yeah.
Game over. Oh no, wait, there was something else happened. Yeah.
Nebula,
this is the bit I didn't like, but carry on.
Bad Nebula let in Thanos from the quantum realm.
Somehow, Nebula
and her fingers. Like
had fingers that somehow
she didn't need pim particles.
Replicated pim particles, replicated all the sort of other gadgets that Iron Man had made to help them transfer without getting young. All that stuff. She just bypassed somehow and brought out a whole fucking ship.
Yep.
And Thanos and all the Chitauri, or all his minions, I guess it was Chitauri, with him, including the big massive ones.
Yep.
Even though that kind of came later on as well, like Thanos somehow got them to come later on, because he initially came and then his army came.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so he came through. They absolutely demolished the Avengers home base. Everyone survived, thankfully.
Yeah.
And then basically they had a battle for the next 20 minutes.
Yep, 20-minute battle where you thought they were going to lose, but then because they had snapped their fingers and everybody came back, Doctor Strange kind of wiggled his fingers and teleported.
Well, it was Wong, actually, I think, that did that.
Oh, okay.
Why was it Wong and not Strange though?
I think they all did it.
Well, why was Spider-Man and Wong and all that not on Titan?
Wong,
As why was Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Peter Quill not all on Titan?
they were. That's where they transported from.
When?
Like when they transported back in, they were all appearing in different circles.
Oh, because Doctor Strange transported them from there.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange transported them. Wong was transporting because everybody was in Wakanda.
So why couldn't Doctor Strange have teleported them at other times?
What do you mean? Because they were dead. Disappeared.
I know, but you think it would have been easy to like send Peter Parker or someone back to Earth? Anyway, regardless, it happened.
Yeah.
So they all came back.
Teleported. Then there's this big army of Avenger people versus Chitauri bad guys. And they battle for a while, and it's like, who has the gauntlet now? Oh, this person. Oh, this person. And it's like, well, we got to send them back in time. Like, we can't destroy the stones. Let's just send them back. And so Wasp and Ant-Man are trying to, like, fire up this thing to send them back in time. And then...
So Thanos initially lets his kind of minions try and kill everyone. And then Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are all super powered. And he doesn't have the gauntlet. They all try and fight him and he beats them all.
Yeah.
How? No idea. Then he pulls in his big army, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. And then they pull in all their army from Wakanda, which again are just men in sheepskin. Yeah. And then they all fight each other. Some of the women show up.
Wonder Woman. Not Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
So they're about to lose, and then Captain Marvel starts attacking the ship.
Yeah.
She destroys the ship, which is kind of cool part. She's been out of the movie the whole time, helping other planets, which is fair. She has a wee battle with Thanos. This is my favourite part of the movie, actually. So she was beating Thanos, essentially, because she apparently has more power. And she's stopping him from using it, like closing the gauntlet to use it. Mm-hmm. And then he's struggling, but then he grabs the Power Stone out of the gauntlet and smacks her with it. That was my favourite scene of the movie. I think that was smart, and I didn't see that coming. And that was cool.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
So that's how they kind of stopped her from getting anything or proving. But I think she jumped back up again pretty easy, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And then he turns and faces Tony, doesn't he? And then Tony's got his nanotech suit on.
There's a girl power scene first.
Oh, there is a girl power scene. I was trying to avoid that.
So
there's a big girl power scene when who was it trying to get the gauntlet to the place? Which one was carrying it? Was it Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it was Captain Marvel, the strongest person there who doesn't need any help, got all these humans,
we got
female.
Your back.
Yeah, we got your back, and that was just you remember that scene in like the second Avengers where they're all flying through the air at the very start? Mm-hmm. It was like that, but for women.
Yes.
And it was a little ham-fisted.
Yes.
We totally understand why they did it, and yeah, I'm sure lots of little girls around the world like had goosebumps. And probably grown-up girls as well, and it was fine. And then so that happened, and then there's been a bit of back and forth with the gauntlet. Iron Man did a wee trick at the end where he had his nanotech. So Thanos came to try and kill him. He had his hand on it, and because of the nanotech, it all just kind of whooped into his hand, and he basically became a new gauntlet, and then he snapped.
Yep.
And then everything was good again.
Except he died.
Oh yeah, he died.
Yeah, so too much power, he couldn't
handle it.
Iron Man can't handle the power. And everybody disappeared, they floated away, it was great, except also Iron Man died.
Yeah.
And we didn't, not necessarily another moment with Spider-Man.
Yep.
And even less of a moment with
Pepper
Potts.
Yeah. And that was it, really.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've brushed over that last final bit. I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about, but I kind of want to get into some other things before we round this one up. They had a scene afterwards of his funeral. All the people kind of came and cried a little bit. They then had Captain America take the gems back to places around the world. Don't know how the fuck he got that one back into the Soul Stone one. No idea how he did that. No idea how he got into that planet and put it back in that chamber inside the other chamber because they'd lost the orb. Don't know how he did that. I don't know how he got the other one back into the scepter. No idea how he did that. Don't know how he put the Space Stone back into a cube. No idea how he did that. The one into the Eye of Agamotto would
Yeah,
have
that
been
one
easy.
makes sense.
But the rest of them, not
No.
Scooby. But hey, I'm sure it happened. And
And
then
he
what was
missed
the
his-
other big spoiler for?
He
Well, not
missed
spoiler,
his,
but thing.
his time jump back, and then Bucky and Sam, Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
look over and see a guy sitting on a bench, and they walk over to him, and it's Captain America sitting on the bench, and he's like 80.
Yep.
And he decided to stay,
Hands over his shield.
be with Peggy, hands over his shield.
Yeah. Which I disagree with entirely, the whole thing. First of all, if he went into the army in, what was it, 1943, when America joined, around that time, say he was 25, so he would be 110 by now? No. Doesn't work. That math doesn't add up.
Peggy died a long time ago, too.
Yeah, she died in what, 2012 or something.
Yeah.
So he's had to wait another 10 years, basically. Well, it's 2023 now because of that 5-year jump.
Yeah.
No. And then also that changes the timelines because now there's 2 Captain Americas in this timeline.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense.
I don't know, how's there 2?
Well, because him and the Frozen one. So during all that time, he has been alive, as well as the Frozen version. And then, and if that wasn't the case, then none of this could have happened because Captain America wouldn't have existed and all that stuff prior to this wouldn't have happened.
It really, that whole time jump confused the hell out of me.
So now he's telling me there's 2 Captain Americas in the world up until this point. And now they merge back together. That doesn't make sense.
None of it makes sense.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy, and then what's the future of Marvel.
I really enjoyed the girl power scene.
Okay, good.
What did you enjoy?
Was that it?
I mean, some of the fighting was okay. That scene at the end, the fight at the end was pretty cool. Where they come back in. Like, I didn't expect them to all come back in at that point, so that was cool.
I thought visually it was nice. I like the characters, so I like how they communicate with each other. There seemed to be real sort of moments where they were just chatting to each other, moments when they're actually having emotional conversations, and then moments when they're just playing around. That worked. You could tell the cast liked each other. There was quite a lot of green screen in that last final battle, so it just seemed like a bit of a blur. I can hardly remember a significant point in it.
Yeah.
Really. I enjoyed. That's about it, really. I enjoy the characters.
Yeah.
I
liked the characters because we've had all
Yeah.
the other movies with them. I don't think any character in this film had depth. Had depth outside of if this was a standalone film, those characters wouldn't have had depth. Besides maybe Black Widow.
Yeah, she had depth in the fact that she had an emotional part of it, and she showed emotion because of something, but nothing that built anyway either. She didn't have an arc. It was just, I'm sad now, I'm dead.
Yep.
You know, Thor didn't have, and maybe it's all because they tried to build this for the next segment. Like the 2 arcs that they had to close were closed. Iron Man, he had to die, and Captain America, he had to go see his love.
Yeah.
Fair, I guess, and everyone else's arc aren't meant to be closed in this one. So I guess we're not really seeing much. I didn't enjoy how they changed Thor.
No.
I mean, I don't mind him being overweight, but
I do.
I don't necessarily think he needs to be as useless. If you go to First Thor, Second Thor, even Avengers Thor, he's much more noble, and you wouldn't change that much over this time period, I don't feel. I didn't like the portrayal of basically any other character. I was really upset with this movie.
I know.
I wanted so much more, and I don't know why people are going on how good it was, because it wasn't. It didn't. They broke their own rules in time travel. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
I was okay with it because I knew it would never live up to Infinity War. They couldn't.
Yeah,
They needed like a 6-hour movie to live up to.
They couldn't, because it left on such a cliffhanger. Well, not even a cliffhanger, almost like a final. I would have been happy if they didn't, if that was it. You know? Yeah. If they just didn't have anything, and then they almost started a new phase with all these new things. And then eventually, maybe down the line, we can now do this and now do this. Yeah. Rather than chuck it all into one movie.
Yeah.
You know, spend another movie figuring out that Ant-Man can use time travel, and then figuring out another time where they can. That would have been cooler in my eyes.
I agree. I think it was rushed. They had a big task ahead of them, and I understand that. Yeah, but I feel like it was rushed.
I feel the execution, it seemed like Yeah. Saying rush seems weird because it's been 10 years in the making, but I get what you're saying. It was
like
they
too
squeezed
much
a lot
trying
into that
to
one
cram
movie,
into one
and
movie,
yeah. Like each one of those individual trips, you could have split like one movie between two of those trips.
Yeah.
And it would have been more interesting, I feel.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there could have been a movie just on him returning the
Yeah.
stones.
So I think that's interesting, but it's done now, and I'm excited for the next phase, I guess.
What? I didn't know there was another phase.
So it's just going to continue forever, basically. So we've got... So that movie, guys, I'm not actually... I would say if I had a yes or no for that movie, for me it'd be a no.
Yeah.
I don't think that... I'd rather watch Thor Dark World again. Would I?
Really?
I don't know if I would. But
No.
I was not... I'm going to watch it again at some point, and I'm not in the cinema, and then I'll tell you what I really feel, but not impressed. But yes, the end of Phase 4 is going to be Spider-Man Far From Home, which we had a trailer for,
Okay.
which kind of opened. Do you see that you watched the trailer yet?
Mm-hmm.
You watched the one that came out yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The one that Drake sent?
Yeah. So that came out yesterday, and it kind of confirmed Iron Man's death. It kind of showed a little bit into what S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to get off, Nick Fury's trying to work on, including possible multiple dimensions, which is kind of interesting. I think that's how they have to go. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the continual phases after that, which are going to be interesting. I think it's going to be the most interesting thing about Endgame is how everyone else develops from this. I don't think it's going to be as simple as we all just move on. There's going to be repercussions.
Yeah, I think so too.
Lots of repercussions. First one is some things that don't make sense. I think I've spoken to this already. All his classmates didn't get snapped. Half of them moved, like, for example, what's his main buddy's name? Ned?
Yeah.
He didn't get snapped.
He didn't?
No. So he's 5 years older now than Spider-Man. Why is he going on a school trip with him? He's 20.
Huh.
Doesn't make sense. Half his class
I didn't think that about that.
are older.
But how the people will all age except the ones that got snapped.
What were you doing 5 years ago?
How old am I now?
Like, totally different stuff to you were doing now. Me, I didn't know any of you guys 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In 5 years, when you think that your whole existence has changed, you could have started a new family, you could be with a new wife, and then all of a sudden, the old people reappears.
Yeah.
People, that's messed up everyone.
Yeah.
Nothing can be the same.
That's
But
very true.
if they have these movies saying that everything's normal, no. There's going to have to be a new king of Wakanda. There's no way can you say T'Challa's back because he died. There has to be someone else ruling Wakanda. There has to be
because
something else, everything else, every other existence.
I mean,
with that planet.
The only way T'Challa could be back is if it was like one of the core people that took over and now he's back, so they stepped down. But
I don't think that's how it works. And like, would they have given someone else the Black Panther serum? So someone would have to take it over because it's a kingdom. You know, I don't know. That doesn't. There's lots of things that just I don't know if they'll ever answer.
A lot of holes.
We'll see what they say in Spider-Man, but
I mean, his friend looks the same age. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, he is. And like, I don't know. It's just lots of things that don't quite add up yet. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any other movies that are coming out? Oh, it's already planned.
I tried to look the other day. There's a Guardians 3.
Yes, there's a Guardians 3.
There's,
So
I think, a Black Widow movie.
I believe the order is going to be a Black Panther sequel.
Okay.
That'd be
This
interesting.
is after Spider-Man.
After Spider-Man. This will be Phase 5. Black Widow movie that you mentioned, which must be prior to...
It has to be.
Has to be, right? It has to be Origin. Which will suck because nobody wants to know an Origin when you know the ending. But they could put in an interesting villain, so it could be quite interesting, actually, I guess. Doctor Strange sequel. The Eternals, which I'll talk about in a moment. Guardians 3. It's the As Guardians of the Galaxy, which I very much like. Shang-Chi, which is the Master of Kung Fu. So, Master of Kung Fu, Shang-Chi was one of the original ones that Marvel kept and were going to make into a movie and just never did. You know how they've sold all the ones off. Mm-hmm. So that was one that they never did. So they're going to try and introduce him. Kind of like Iron Fist, but not quite.
Okay.
The Eternals. So this is where a lot of people think the next kind of direction is going to go. And the Eternals are kind of like godlike creatures that have been around forever. And you've got the Eternals, and then you've got the Celestials, and then you've got kind of other higher powers that how far this goes. And people think that this is where the next one's going to be. And they're sort of really powerful, more powerful than Thanos type creatures, ones that don't need power, like gems and stones. Angelina Jolie apparently is cast to play one of them already. So there's a movie kind of set in play that I think that's where it's going to go towards. I don't know much else, but that's what people are thinking.
Cool. That sounds interesting.
And so that's going to take up the next 4 years or something, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But there's also apparently you've got Fantastic Four, which are going to be introduced now because Fox is over, and you've got potential Deadpool to be kind of, if they do multiple dimensions, things like Deadpool can take part. X-Men can technically come in. There's chat about maybe, the snap has caused some radiation, which has caused people's things to open up, or maybe the mutants were hiding up until now, and now, all these sort of things. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm excited. I'm just disappointed that the last 10 years ended on a sour note for me. But as long as the next one, if Spider-Man's good, it will make me feel better. Good. I'm not a big Black Panther's fine, so I'll see how it goes. I'm sure the next movie will be fine. Just there needs to be team ups in everyone from now on, unless it's a new origin movie. You can't not include someone because I don't feel like you can do that.
Everybody's kind of working together in the universe now.
Yeah. There's no reason why you can't pull in this person. Yep. Even if it's a small thing, Yeah.
I like the movies that have more than just one person better.
Yeah. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy thought will be a good one. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that'll be good. And that one's okay for it to be funny and kind of off the cuff because that's how they are.
Yeah.
It's just not what I was expecting from it.
I don't want to feel like I'm totally shitting on Endgame because I am, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's just okay.
I'm happy that they've had a conclusion and that they've done some justice to it. It's impossible. How do you do it better?
Yeah, like I said, they had a big job, and I don't think that they.
I'm sure there's millions of people out there actually writing on a forum somewhere how to do it better. But
yeah, I don't think that they purposefully did it. The parts that we didn't like, I don't think that was purposefully we're just gonna mess with people. Yeah. So.
And they've had lots of swings, lots of hits. I'll give them this miss if the other ones are good, And they'll learn from it and they'll make sure things tighten up for the future.
For sure.
Do you think you'll see Iron Man again?
In a movie? No.
Do you think you'll see Captain America again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? I think we'll see both.
You think?
Yeah. I think Iron Man will be back in some form, whether it's to help Peter Parker or whether it's some sort of AI version of him or some other time version.
Yeah.
And Cap will be back because time travel.
Yeah. I think
both of those actors need a rest.
Yeah.
But they'll be back.
Yeah, I agree.
And things how about Vision didn't reappear? Obviously he's dead, but they didn't mention him. And then Scarlet Witch is really fucking powerful, but they didn't really show off. Thanos somehow became the most powerful being ever.
And it didn't just really describe him as that. It was just he had the stones, and that's why he was powerful. And so when you take the stones away, he shouldn't be that powerful.
And Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, who's meant to be again one of the most powerful beings in the universe, held up a wave for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Just get some bricks, move it. As in, you can manage that and do other shit.
Yeah.
It was. They put in really bad things to hold off people.
Yes. I agree.
And Captain Marvel could take out the whole Chitauri, and then everyone could just fight Thanos and he'd be done. Anyway.
So I agree with you. It's okay. We'll watch it again. We'll let the dust settle.
He wasn't that powerful before.
Settle.
He just wasn't that
See
powerful.
See what I did there?
Before. No, what did he say?
I said we'll let the dust settle.
Okay, yeah. Very good.
And then we'll watch it again.
We will watch it again. I want to watch it again, and I want to discuss it again.
Okay.
Because I like discussing it and moaning about it. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Detective Pikachu's out this weekend. Do you want to go see that?
No. But there is another movie I want to see, but I don't remember the name of it.
What?
I'm going to find the trailer and make you watch it.
All right, cool. All right, I think that's enough for me. I'm exhausted from complaining.
Okay.
All right. Go see the movie, guys. Let us know your thoughts.
Well, hopefully you've already seen it because we gave you a lot of spoilers.
If you haven't and you just watched this and listened to this, I'm hoping this is only my mum listening to this. And Mum, you don't have to go see it, but let us know what your thoughts. Let us know if you got anything that was glaringly wrong, or if there was something that you really liked that they thought they absolutely nailed. Hit us up at the Mumblecast on Instagram and Twitter, or hit me up personally at Neville's Mail on Instagram, or Kayla's at Kayla104357.
0134.
0134. I think that's it for now, isn't it? All right, next week we'll be back with something more interesting, more fun, and more enthusiasm behind.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, in that case, I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
And it's been Mumblecast.
Bye.